Welcome to Illuminati Silver. We tell you the truth about silver. Today is Sunday the 7th of March 2021 and we're publishing the 14th episode in our Bitcoin versus Gold and Silver series. In today's episode we look at whether Bitcoin can actually maintain its upward momentum and what is required to achieve that. So let's take a look. Now, before we look at Bitcoin's momentum, just a quick summary of our previous 12 episodes. In episode 1, we explained why we launched the series and why people found Bitcoin attractive. In 2, we confirmed the size of the equity, gold and silver markets and compared them with Bitcoin's capitalization value. In 3, we highlighted a non-exhaustive list of the disadvantages of Bitcoin, which are similar to other cryptocurrencies. 4, we highlighted the Skybridge Capital's Anthony Scaramucci had launched a brand new Bitcoin fund and the reasons for doing so. In 5, we looked at the intrinsic value of gold and silver compared with the intrinsic value of Bitcoin. In 6, we looked at a number of YouTube and Google influencers who've used Bitcoin's rise as both clickbait and an investment opportunity. 7, we looked at a fall of some $11,000 in Bitcoin's price, but argued why it will recover quickly. In 8, we looked at how the shortage of microchips could affect the ability to mine more Bitcoin. 9, we looked at the likelihood of the Reddit Robinhood short squeeze agents targeting Bitcoin and whether they could be successful. In 10, we highlighted that Ray Dalio's Bridgewater Associates had also invested in Bitcoin, and some analysts were predicting a price in the short term of up to $85,000 a coin. In 11, we talked about Morgan Stanley, Deutsche Bank, ARK Investment Management and BNY Mellon, all of whom were investing either directly in Bitcoin or related services. And in 12, we looked at the potential future direction for Bitcoin, gold and silver. And we've placed links to all of these below. Now, yesterday we published our weekly gold and silver update for the weekend in the 5th of March. Where we pointed out that gold had fallen 2% last week to $1,701 and silver had a whopping 5.4% fall to $25.24, while Bitcoin was up over $1,000 at $48,092, but still reasonably lower than its recent all-time high of $58,332. And we've placed links to all of these videos mentioned below. Now, for interest in the last 24 hours, Bitcoin has traded between $51,139 and $47,127, and the price currently is $50,649. And it's this volatility that has caused so many critics for claiming that Bitcoin cannot truly be used as an alternative currency, as there would be no confidence in its value from one day until the next. Even though we all know that our fiat currencies are on permanent value decline, the rate is so slow generally that many fail to notice it, and from day to day the purchasing power has a degree of stability. However, what is driving Bitcoin is not necessarily just the demand for it as a currency alternative, but frankly a belief that its price has so much further to rise that to miss out would be regarded by many as foolhardy, especially in the financial world of investment and speculation. Of course, many believe, and with good reason, that the blockchain-type structure upon which Bitcoin is based, or similar type foundation, could and probably will form the basis of a future digital currency, something which Jerome Powell, the head of the Federal Reserve Bank, has already advised politicians is receiving priority attention. In the last 28 days, we have seen Bitcoin's price move from $38,000 to $58,000 and then fall to $43,000, and many ask, has the upward momentum ceased? Now, an interesting article published by CoinDesk yesterday stated the following. We'll quote them. Bitcoin was slipping on Friday, down 1.1%, even after Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy, which over the past year has become one of the world's biggest corporate buyers of the largest cryptocurrency, announced an additional $10 million purchase. Institutional demand for Bitcoin from investors and corporations has been a big driver of price gains over the past year. The cryptocurrency has gained 65% this year after quadrupling in 2020. But this MicroStrategy effect might be wearing off, raising questions over what level of buying or economic indicators might be needed to spark a fresh rally, given the cryptocurrency's outsized gains already. Bitcoin's prices popped above $48,000 on Friday after MicroStrategy's announcement, before quickly losing momentum. MicroStrategy's shares, meanwhile, were down by 11% at press time. In my view, Bitcoin's increasing reliance on purchase announcements for short-term rallies is not an entirely healthy trend, said Hunain Nasir, senior editor at OKX Insights, said. While the foundations of Bitcoin remain strong, the coin is under much pressure to return gains to corporate investors who may need to declare earnings for the quarter, Konstantin Anasimov, executive director at UK-based cryptocurrency exchange CEXIO, wrote in a market report on Friday. Some traders might be more focused on the rapid jump recently in US Treasury bond yields, which might show growing anxiety over future inflation, a key focus for Bitcoin traders who say the cryptocurrency might serve as a hedge against price increases. Well, our take on this is relatively simple. Bitcoin has a market capitalization of around $930 billion, although at one stage it did touch $1 trillion. In market investment terms, this is undoubtedly sizable. But Amazon and Apple's capitalization, just two companies, is roughly double that of the capitalization of Bitcoin as a whole. Compared with other asset classes, and depending on how one values them, the gold market is worth around $10 trillion, the US equity market is worth $85 trillion, and in physical currency terms, there are around $2 trillion worth of US dollars, physical cash, in circulation, though the figure quoted for MO is 5.2 trillion and M1 6.7 trillion. And of course, if we take into account the global money supply, it dwarfs all of these figures. So, Bitcoin can rise or not, depending on how investors and speculators feel that this relatively finite resource can compete with alternatives. Also, whether perhaps enough profit has been made for a number of them to consider either relinquishing their gains or alternatively believing, as is often the case, when something rises significantly in price, even $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, $10,000 rise in that price as a percentage could actually be relatively diminutive. It's a big difference for Bitcoin to rise from $4,000 to $5,000 than from $58,000 to $59,000. Institutional investment into Bitcoin is still relatively small, certainly in terms of how many institutions have committed to it so far. More and more hedge funds are taking notice, and investment advisors are beginning to recommend some exposure to Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies generally, though most seem at present to be recommending a cryptocurrency fund rather than perhaps a single currency investment. This may change, but we doubt that. Now, we believe sincerely that Bitcoin has further to run until either it is stopped by national governments, or alternatively, an alternative is legislated for. Until that day, the $85,000 price tag that some analysts are predicting is accomplishable in our view. Whether, of course, its price will ultimately reach $1 million a coin remains to be seen. But the Bitcoin rampage is certainly nowhere near over. At least, certainly not for the next 12 months or so. Now, one may ask, are we investors in Bitcoin at this level? Well, the answer is no. We still prefer gold and silver, even though the returns may be far less, and certainly far less exciting. That said, we would be foolish to think that Bitcoin will not provide gains for some who are attracted to this speculative and rising asset class. What do you think? Do share your thoughts, and if you haven't done so, kindly subscribe to our channel. And later today, we're hoping to publish a second video specifically on what seems to be happening to silver, so do watch out for that later in the day. We hope you have found this video interesting and informative, and if so, please give it a thumbs up and share it on social media. Please ensure that you have subscribed to our channel and press the bell sign so that you are notified of any future videos. Also, kindly visit our website at illuminatisilver.com, and if you haven't already done so, please subscribe either as a free or paying member for regular email updates and offers. Disclaimer: Illuminati Silver owners come from a background of banking, international wealth management and economics. Having now retired from these worlds, we are not qualified to give investment advice. Therefore, this and other productions must not be deemed to be giving such advice and merely represent the personal views of its owners.